Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to Black Readers Con. My name is Kay the Reader, and I'm here with my co host, Summer Reads Romance. And we
Hi.
have three great guests here this evening. I'm really excited. So, Black Readers Con, for those of you who don't know, is an organization that was born out of a love and passion of books. Black Readers Con is here to amplify Black readers and the book clubs they love, but not just the book clubs they love, but all of the authors that they love as well. Black Readers Con will be holding a conference this fall in October, the 28th through the 30th, both in New York City and virtually. So you need to make sure to follow Black Readers Con across all social media so that you can be updated about the conference. Not only that, but when you follow Black Readers Con across social media, you also get to participate in or watch other live events that we have on Twitter. We have Twitter Spaces, and on Instagram we have Instagram Live, and then there are nice, fun, funny videos on TikTok. So just make sure to follow us everywhere. If you're unable to watch us on Facebook, of course we're also available on YouTube. So that is Black Readers Con, and tonight we're having a poetry party and we're really excited about it. So I'm going to give our three guests that are with us this evening the opportunity to introduce themselves to you. And we're going to start with Alicia, Pretty Brown Eye Reader.
Hi, everyone. As Kay said, my social media handle is Pretty Brown Eye Reader, and I am somewhat of a book influencer, I guess. I review books and I read a lot of poetry, literary fiction, all kinds of things. And I like reading, and it has been a passion of mine, as well as learning poetry. I don't write poetry, but I absolutely love to read it.
Yes, and let me throw this in. If you follow Pretty Brown Eye Reader on YouTube, she has been sharing poetry all throughout the month of April for National Poetry Month. So please visit her channel and check out the great poems that she's been sharing. Tiffany, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, I am Tiffany. My social media handle is TB the Writer across all platforms. I am a poet and a writer. I am the co founder of Big Black Chapters, which is a website to help indie authors of color network and publish their books. And I'm also kind of a book influencer as well on Instagram and TikTok.
You definitely are a book influencer, and you're an admin for one of the largest Black book clubs on Facebook. And give them the name of the book club.
Black Girls Read Too.
Mhm. I'm in there every day. That's one of the only few reasons I still go into Facebook nowadays. I have to go into that group to see what everybody's reading.
Yes.
And so, Pam, Mocha Sister, can you please introduce yourself?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mocha Sister. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a former teaching artist. I taught poetry in Chicago Public Schools. I won the Gwendolyn Brooks Poetry Award for my work in the schools in 2004. And I love writing. Been writing since I was a teenager and started reading spoken word around 28. Yeah, I'm not that young anymore, but my words are still young, okay? But I started publishing back in 2001, and I love poetry. My favorite poets are Nikki Giovanni, Sonia Sanchez, Langston Hughes, and I am honored to be here with you tonight to share the love of poetry. You can find me across all media as Mocha Sister, and my YouTube channel is A Day in the Life of Mocha Sister, where I post a lot of different things. I also have a podcast called Mocha's Jams,
Hmm.
and it features nothing but poetry and me talking about writing poetry, etc. So again, thank you guys for having me and enjoy what we share tonight.
Thank you so much. So we have a couple of, well, three poets actually that were not able to be with us this evening. Words by Carolyn, Poetry Reads 21, and Whitmore Reads all great poets. And I wish they could have been here, but due to other obligations, they were not able to be here. But I am going to, sometime in the evening, share some of the poetry that these young ladies have written. So we'll do that. We'll come back at some point and we'll read some poems by these ladies. But I did want to show you their faces and their social media handles in case you wanted to follow these women to learn more about what they offer in terms of poetry. And Denise is also an artist, Whitmore Reads. So you might want to also follow her Whitmore Reads page and her Whitmore Art Studios page to see the lovely art that she creates. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take the opportunity for our special guest, our poetry connoisseur, Alicia, to ask some questions of our guests. And I guess Summer and I as well. So
Okay.
Alicia, take it away.
All right. Thank you for trusting me. After I ask the questions, if you're gonna be like, whoa. But anyway, since so many readers are also writers, I have some questions about some craft and as well as some influencing kind of questions as well. So I hope y'all will bear with me and answer the questions. So first of all, if you had the opportunity to have coffee or tea with a poet, which poet would you have this nice little coffee tea break with? Do y'all want me to pick someone or are you just gonna jump in?
Yes, pick someone.
So, I mean,
Okay.
I would love to sit down and have tea with Nikki Giovanni just to talk about how she approached her writing career and being strong and using her voice at the time that she initially came out. As we all know, it was like at a time where a bold Black woman, some people probably looked at it like, why do you have the nerve to say XYZ? I would just love to really speak with her and learn even more about her approach to her craft. She's published, I think, over 30. Am I correct?
It's a
Volumes.
lot of them. I haven't read them all. So I'm still trying.
I stopped counting, but she's written so many. I would love to speak with her, and it would be a pleasure to sit down and have tea with Sister Nikki.
I'd like to be in the cafe somewhere listening. I love Nikki Giovanni. What about you, Tiffany?
Oh, we would definitely all be at the same table because I was going to say Nikki as well. This clip always pops into my head of her and James Baldwin having a discussion, and she just has so much wisdom that I would definitely love to sit down and talk to her.
I think James Baldwin is kind of slept on as a poet sometimes, but his poetry is hidden too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Summer, what about you?
I don't know. The only poet, because I don't read a lot of poetry.
Okay.
I like music and stuff, but I did see Nikki Giovanni at a event in Chicago at the DeSable Museum, and I was getting a book signed for my aunt, and I spoke to her because I saw her on PBS. And it was just when she was explaining her poetry or what made her write the stories in this particular book. It was just so moving. And I told her that, and she was just so genuine. And like, I really felt like, it's a big line of people and she's signing books and she's like, oh, okay. She was just so like, I felt seen. It's just, I would love. Yeah. So yeah, it would be one big table, I think.
What about you, Kay?
Y'all go ahead and slide over because that's the table I'm coming to. I had the pleasure of meeting Nikki Giovanni once. I went to Clemson University to hear her speak. And so let me just be honest. I was young, okay? I was in my 20s, and although I had been writing for a while, I really wasn't familiar with her work. So I asked her about a poem that she did not write. I was like, so embarrassed. And she said, "It's okay, honey." And I redeemed myself. "Can I get your autograph, please?" She gave me the autograph. And but she was so good and left such an impression on me that, because I mean, she could have really been like, "Girl, you don't even know who you talking to," that kind of thing. But she was just so warm-hearted and kind and funny that I raced back home, called my best friend. Did y'all know this before everybody had cell phones? Called my best friend and my cousin and said, "We're going to see Nikki Giovanni tonight. I just met her and I have to go back." And they said, "Okay." And so we went back together, and I actually talked to her about writing poetry. And I asked her about being a published poet. And she said she would answer the question when she got back home to Virginia. And I was like, "Oh, I'm never going to hear from her again." She wrote me back, and she said that, basically, she was saying, "Don't think about writing poetry in terms of, um, in terms of fame or in terms of making money or anything like that. Write from your heart," basically, is what she was saying. You're not really going to make a lot of money writing poetry. Isn't that's kind of ironic, right? You're not going to make a lot of money writing poetry, but write from your heart is what she basically told me. If I could find everything, I'll put it in my stories and share it on Instagram for you guys. I'll share the letter and everything. So, but yeah, so all of us will be sitting at that one big table.
Okay. Like that. So the next question. What is your favorite subject matter to write about in your poems? So Tiffany, can you answer that?
I am a love heartbreak hotel poet. When you read my poetry, it's gonna be about relationships for the most part.
Ooh. What about you, Mocha Sister?
Okay, so I look, nice and innocent and all that. It always helps when I start reading that erotica that I started
Oh,
off with. And I still write it, even though I write about other stuff or love relationships. But I like using a lot of figurative language to talk about love, to talk about what is emotional intimacy and physical intimacy, and it's not what we see on TV. If you use the right words, you can paint a picture. Just saying. So, yeah.
I like that. Kay, you're muted, Kay.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, going through some of my poetry and trying to figure out what I was going to read tonight, I also realized I write a lot about heartbreak, relationships, non-relationships, almost relationships, wish it would have been a relationship kind of stuff.
Okay. Summer, you want to skip this one?
I actually had considered writing a poem this year.
Okay.
I chickened out, but it was like kind of the words came to mind, and but I had gone through some health issues, and it was just kind of it wasn't about relationship. I guess it was just kind of finding myself and finding what was important in life, and that was kind of the gist of what the poem was about.
Okay.
Just kind of rediscovering life.
Okay.
If I were to write a poem, that'd probably be it.
Okay. So next question. Do you have a favorite poetic device, rhyme scheme, rhyme pattern, or form that you like to use? So we'll start with Mocha Sister.
It's a toss up. I like to use rhyme schemes sometimes.
Okay.
I see it a lot in my poetry. But along with that, I kind of like the informal poem, meaning it doesn't have a structure. Like it's 2 or 3 words here and then da 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 da, because I feel like if I'm too structured, I only do it really structured if I'm about to publish. But my regular poems, I just like to free form poems. I'm a strange poet, but I like to take the haiku format and replicate it as a longer poem. So I might start off with 3 words and then I do like 6 stanzas. I'll make it one full poem about one full subject, which is not going to be the haiku subject of nature. Okay. You can use the haiku form as you will, because poetry, we don't have all these rules and regulations, right? Make it yours.
Right. Okay. Cool. I kind of want to dig in that a little bit more. How do you do that? The haiku? Could you explain it just a little bit more? How you?
So the haiku is a Japanese form of poetry, 17 syllables. First line is 3. Let me think of it now. Is structured, right?
Mhm.
So one line has a certain number of syllables, and second line will have a number of syllables, and the last line will have a number of syllables, equaling 17 syllables. So it's 3 lines. Typically, when I did start writing haiku poems, I did write it about nature, the sun, the moon, the sky, because I used to be teaching that type of stuff. But then one day I was like, well, why can't you write a longer? Because I feel like with me, I don't know about you ladies, but once I get to that 3rd line, I feel like I have some more to say. So 17 syllables is not enough to say sometimes what you need to say. I'm just, So I like to use that form. And also another interesting format to use is cinquain. These are, forms that sometimes people don't even know about unless they're teaching poetry, or you're like, what the heck is cinquain? But these are forms that are out there. If you go and you just type cinquain or you type haiku, it will take you to probably poetry.org or poets.org, or just some teaching websites that teachers use, that they use a certain format to look at structure, because like cinquain is very short. Again, that's one of the shorter forms. It's not a long form, but I used to teach it. So then I started writing it in my personal stuff, like after class or on the bus. I used to call myself the bus poet, because back in the day I was just like poetry bag, books, curriculum, everything. And I would just be on my way back home and I have my journal. I'm like, okay, I've been writing and looking at their work all day. Let me write my stuff. So that's kind of how I got into, like, I call it flipping a poetry device, flipping a poetry form, because it makes it creative. Because you do get stagnant as a writer. You want to be writing the same thing over and over. I know for me, that's why I kind of started looking at different forms, so I can have something different to offer to my audience, as well as my standard, my standard stuff.
Okay. Okay, what about you?
A mixed bag. I do like poetry that rhymes, but I have poems that are free verse. And Mocha Sister, so funny you bring up cinquain. As I was going through my poems today, I found a stack of them that I had written, and I have forgotten all about it. But I was exploring different types of poetry, and I've written haiku. I've done the cinquain. I've done I can't even remember all the different types, but I was going through and I found some of those, and I said, wow, I forgot that I was practicing writing in those structures. But I think my favorite is probably with the definitive structure and rhyme scheme.
Okay. Summer, if you were writing a poem, would you have a way you would want to write it?
If I were so talented, I would love to rhyme.
Okay.
I just like the rhyme. I don't know if it's because, Dr. Seuss and all that, but I love how I love when people can put a lot of meaning in still rhyme.
Okay. Tiffany, what is your favorite device or rhyme scheme, or what was the other question? Form.
My favorite is definitely a haiku. My second poetry collection is actually a full-length 365 days of haikus, which a real stickler for haikus would probably say they're not haikus because they're not all about nature, which haikus are supposed to be, but they follow the format of a haiku. Other than that, definitely a free verse in my other collections, just off the top of my head, whatever I'm feeling, no structure. And recently I've started writing nonettes, and they're 9 lines, and the first line starts at 9 syllables, and then you just count down until you get down to 1 syllable. And I've really started really liking to write those as well.
That sounds
Cool.
challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I might try that.
Well, all of y'all's answers were really good, and they really blend into my next question, which is, what are some exercises that potential writers can use to write poetry? So, Mocha Sister, you hit on quite a few. Would you like to give a few exercises that people
You
that
know,
write?
it's so weird. Like I said, I do so many varied things. I do something weird where I go and I don't know if I'm the only one that does this. I take words, the main word, and I look up and I go to the thesaurus to find alternative words to use. So I start a list. First of all, I start a list of what is this poem about? Love, adoration. You know, I write all these words and then I put it like on the side somewhere. And then I look at the, my synonyms and all that. I think you need to start where your heart leads you to. So if it's leading to love, it's leading to pain, is you might have looked at an article about police brutality. Maybe you want to have something to say about that. What you only write about what you're really passionate about. That's how I feel, because I feel like if I'm trying to write about something that I'm not passionate about, it's going to come off kind of choppy and not very well delivered. So I've used so many exercises. It's ridiculous. I mean, from all the different short forms. And I also suggest people read different poets. Go and read Pablo Neruda. Go and read not just the poets you know. You know, one of the challenges I had as a teaching artist, because I'm an urban poet. I ain't gonna lie. I was on the south side of Chicago, and my coordinators and supervisors were like, we need American poetry in your curriculum. And you used to be fighting over that, but it made sense for them to say, hey, put some American poets in here. Edgar Allan Poe. Expose yourself to different forms of poetry. Hip hop poetry is out there. There are poems that are from other countries, other cultures. Read, and then start playing with words. And don't let nobody tell you how you're supposed to write a poem. I can't tell you how to do that. You just get that pen and get your journal and get your thoughts down. But it is very helpful to also make sure you use the 5 senses. Sometimes for me, it helps if I go back to a draft and I'm like, you know what? I need to go ahead and put something and close my eyes. And if they could close their eyes and see the poem or feel the poem or taste the poem, etc., now they can have an experience.
Cool. That's some great advice. Tiffany, what about you? What are some exercises that you would recommend for potential writers?
For me, I definitely am a huge music fan. So listening to music inspires poetry. You may hear a line or even just the music just inspires you or sparks something in you. Like Mocha said, reading other poets definitely sparks inspiration. Also looking at art, take a picture of art and try to create a poem around what you see in the art. Just things like that. Just going out in nature, walking around, possibly seeing something that sparks your imagination or creativity. Like she said, you just write what you feel, write what you know, and write what you're passionate about.
What about you, Kay?
I would say the same, because I normally write from a place of emotion. And so my thought would be, write what you feel. Even if you are not writing the full poem at the moment, whatever it is you're feeling in the moment, jot it down. And then come back and, think about it and come back later. Sometimes that can help. I think one of the things that can stress a writer out or potential writer out is trying to write a poem in one sitting. You don't have to. Now, if that's how you feel and if that's what you're thinking in the moment, write the whole poem in one sitting. But if you only have one stanza, write it down so that you don't forget it. Write it down, come back to it later. I also love words, so I'm also looking in the thesaurus. I'm looking in the dictionary. I'm looking for, okay, let me just think of a word and see what rhymes with it. And then what can I come up with that would make sense in terms of crafting a poem. So that's just that's some of the things that I may do. But really, I start off by writing what I feel. And even if I wake up in the middle of the night because something's come to mind, I'll either record it in my phone or I'll type it into my phone, go back to sleep, and then the next day revisit it. So don't lose those what you think are little thoughts, because they could become bigger or greater poems later. So the things you think are little thoughts, capture them.
Cool. Summer, did you want to add anything?
Cool. I'm just learning.
Okay. Next question. Do you have a favorite collection or favorite poem that you've written? Tiffany, you want to start us off?
So far, my favorite collection is the last one I wrote, Sunflowers in Winter. That's definitely going to be my favorite collection. As far as favorite poem I've written, I don't know if I have a favorite one of my own. I tend to be kind of hard on myself, so I'm like,
What is your favorite poem written by anybody?
Written by anybody, it's called Again by Rudy Francisco. Okay. That would be my favorite poem by anybody.
Okay, cool. Mocha Sister, what do you have a favorite collection or poem that you've written?
My last poetry collection, Musings of a Mocha Sister, Volume 3, is my favorite collection. I don't have a favorite poem per se of my own, but I love Eagle Tripping.
Oh, I do too. What makes it your favorite collection that you've written?
The Nikki Giovanni collection of selected poems.
Okay. Kay, do you have a favorite poem or collection that you've written?
I do not. Well, I started several collections, and I'm not a published poet in, the same as these two ladies where they've published their own collections. I have my own collection sitting. And when I say collection, I mean I've divided them in the file cabinet, in different folders. But as I've grown older, I think some of the poems that I wrote in maybe the early to mid 2000s were maybe some of my favorites. But no, I don't. It's like picking your favorite child. I can't pick. As far as other poets, Cage Bird by Maya Angelou will always be one of my favorite. And Langston Hughes. I like, of course I'm drawing a blank right now. Like, it's not the name of it. Mother to Son.
Yes.
That was one of
the first ones I learned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Yeah.
Summer, did you have a favorite poem you want to share?
I don't know about a favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I have so few that I know. I'm not sure if I have a favorite.
That's fine.
Okay.
I just didn't want to exclude. Make
Thank
sure
you.
So this is my last question. I hope it hasn't been painful to answer.
Wait, Alicia, what's your favorite? You love poetry.
Nikki Giovanni's Kidnap poem is my favorite. So my last question is, does your family read your poetry? So Kay, you start us off. Does your family read your poetry?
I have one cousin that, especially in my 20s when I was really writing a lot, I called her one of my beta readers. And so yes, she has read many of my poems. But no, I haven't really shared a lot of my poetic work with my family. I don't know why, but I just really haven't. Only one cousin, and she's like, "Yeah, you need to go ahead and get your book together." And that was a long time ago. But no, I don't really share it with a lot of people.
What about you, Mocha Sister?
In the beginning, I'm gonna say like a couple of years ago, my mom, it took a while for me to kind of share my poetry at that time because I was writing like all that erotica stuff, and I was like, I don't know if I want to share this with you. I want you to think something. No, you raised me right. That type of thing was coming across my mind. But as I got older, I would like have to pop up and do like some spiritual poetry and other venues, and my mom, my brother, my family come out and support. So they're very supportive of my poetry. Not all my cousins, but they are supportive of the idea that I'm a writer, opposed to I'm going to read everything that you produce. That's okay, because I have a lot of people that do support it, and that's just as important as well.
Cool. What about you, Tiffany?
Before I come out with a collection, I normally will post some of my poems on Facebook leading up to it. So I have a lot of cousins who will read on there. And then as far as immediate family, they always buy a book. They probably don't necessarily read it because they're not really into poetry, but they do support and buy a copy of the book.
Cool. Summer, you want to add anything? Okay. So those are my questions. Thank you, ladies, for answering them.
Thank you, Alicia. I knew you would come with some great questions for us because, again, you are a poetry connoisseur. I know how much you love poetry, and I really, when I first thought about this event, I was like, I've got to get Alicia on to be a part. So thank you so much for those questions.
No
I really
problem.
do appreciate you being here, and those are some good ones. Okay. So now I'm going to take a moment to read the poetry by, as I mentioned before, the three young ladies who could not be with us this evening. So the first one is by Ray Scott, and her collection is entitled Through Blood and Becoming. And this is the poem she asked me to read tonight. What have you done for the little girl who sat in total darkness and dreamed of a life with trials and thrills, but joyfulness regardless? What have you done for the little girl who had endless possibilities to go out in the world, take her claims, and flex all her abilities? What have you done for the little girl who grew into the woman you see when you look into the mirror and still wonder what she can be? Today you start to fight for her and make all her dreams come true because the little girl you're fighting for is still alive in you. And that is Ray Scott. I like that. It's really good. The next poem is by Carolyn Smith, and it is entitled Holding Space. I've always held spaces, soft like silk cotton spaces, for friends and lovers with hard edges to land gently. Cocoon spaces to usher change and peace without judgment. I'm there with opened arms in these spaces, loving who they are and who they've become. I've held spaces with kisses when kisses were what was needed to make them feel again. I've held spaces with silence when their worlds had gotten too loud for even thoughts. I knew these spaces were temporary. Come as you are, I said. But when they leave, I can find no space for me. And again, that poem is Holding Space by Words by Carolyn Smith. And you can find both of these ladies on Instagram. Ray Scott is Poetry Reads 21, and Words by Carolyn is Carolyn Smith. So for Whitmore Reads, she's so creative, and Alicia and I have known Denise for many, many years because we're booktubers. But she has these little zines that she makes, and like a little pull-out coloring page and everything. And so I'm going to read a poem out of this zine. It's Books, Poetry, and You, Volume 1. And she has artwork in here, poems, book reviews, everything. So this one is called Silence. Silence is what it is. There is no other. Quiet is quiet, and speaking soft just won't do. But I like the moments of softness with you. Those times we speak in languages visualized with hungry eyes. Those groans, those moans that are loud enough for two and non-audible for others, just felt by bodies, emotionally intense, charged with the hum of the earth. And I hope that's the right sound she intended. But those are poems by those three young ladies. So hopefully we could get them on a Black Readers Con Live at another time so that they can share their love of poetry with us and read their own works with us. Before we move into our poetry session where we share our works, Summer, would you like to share with us some of the poetry books that you have?
Sure. I was able to get some books. I have one of my own. I forgot to pull out. Well, I shared this last week. Was when I had in high school, and I've moved so much, I lost things. But somebody was moving, and I actually found it again, called The Black Poets. It's an anthology edited by Dudley Randall, and it's got Robert Hayden, James Whitfield, Lucy Terry, Phyllis Wheatley, Francis E.W. Harper, Paul Laurence Dunbar, Langston Hughes. It's just a whole bunch of poets. It was published, I believe, in the 70s. Gwendolyn Brooks is in here. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yeah, so that's that, The Black Poets. So then Phenomenal Woman by Maya Angelou. This is one of my mom's. On the Pulse of the Morning, the inaugural poem by Maya Angelou. And then Those Who Ride the Night Winds, poems, Nikki Giovanni. Another one my mom had. So she's a poetry fan, obviously.
Your mama would be at the table with us.
Yeah. The moments, the minutes. Well, she'd probably be at the table with Maya Angelou if she could. She's a huge Maya Angelou fan. The moments, the minutes, the hours, the poetry of Jill Scott. And then the one that I'm wearing the shirt for is it's actually a book because I read romance all the time. But the character was a poet, and Alexandria House is the author. She wrote a book of poems by the character, but obviously the poems are written by her. Let me see if I can find. Sorry, I should have had a screen locked. Okay, and that's the Book of Niles, and the book is called I don't know if you guys can see that. So the book on Niles by Alexandria House and Niles Adams. And Niles Adams is the hero in the book called, is it Made for You? Or, oh my goodness, how did I forget the name of the book? But it's by Alexandria House. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, I'll look it up.
Thank you, Summer. Did you have any others, or that was it?
Yeah, that's all I have right now.
Okay. All right. So I would invite anyone in the comments. You can drop your favorite poems in the chat or your favorite poets. Just share that information in the chat with us. So now we're going to get started. I'm so excited because I cannot wait to hear these poems by these beautiful women, because I know they're going to bring it. So Mocha Sister, let's start with you. And you could share one of your poems with us, and we'll just kind of do a round robin. We'll go around and read our poetry. We have Alicia. Now, Alicia's going to be a tough critic. Now, I'm not going to ask you to judge our poems, Alicia, as we're reading, but she loves poetry. So, Alicia, I know this is going to be a treat for you. So, Mocha Sister, let's start with you.
This poem is called Poetic Soul. Poetic soul, poetic soul. Bound by imagination, she creates the rhythm of life. Pulsations inside the mind are free to fly. Lyrical muses come forth like little flowers in springtime. Poetic soul. Bound by creativity, she delves deep into her simple existence. Sensations of life are deep and lovely, and moments are released like rain babies. It is this poetic soul that moves and grooves, that opens so nakedly and dances in the wind, releasing and revealing deep moments of life experienced by her or others. It is this poetic soul that loves people and loves life. It is this poetic soul that delights in the poetic moments that are experienced in this thing we call life.
Yes.
I couldn't even get off mute. I love that.
Thank you.
I know they do the snaps, but I want to clap. Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, Tiffany.
All right. This is called Somebody's Son. One day, somebody's son is going to make me a priority. His energy will match mine. There will be no confusion or manipulation. He will not play about me. One day, somebody's son won't be able to imagine a day without the sound of my voice, the smile on my face, and the light that is my laughter. He will only want to see me happy. One day, somebody's son is going to lay it all on the line just so I can proudly call him mine. A communicator, a lover, a best friend. Somebody's son will be my prince, my husband, my happily ever after. He will make lifelong plans with me. So until then, everybody else's son, fringing romantic pursuit, can leave me alone, respectfully.
If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. I like that. Yes, I can relate. Beautiful. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to share one of mine that is published in this book, this anthology, Journey to Timbuktu, edited by Memphis Vaughn Jr. This poem is called I Looked Beyond My Darkness, and it is about being asleep and then being woke. Okay. I looked beyond my darkness and discovered a mind so deep I could swim in it. A power wide and steep rose from inside me. A joy I couldn't keep overcame me and made me weep. I never would have known had I not looked beyond my darkness. I looked beyond my darkness and discovered they told me lies about how beautiful I was. They hid their eyes when I walked into a room. Their true feelings were disguised. I had no idea I was such a prize. I never would have known had I not looked beyond my darkness. I looked beyond my darkness and discovered I was a queen with courage unsurpassed. The world had never seen one so feisty and smart. I'm so beautiful and clean. Nothing about me is dirty or obscene. I never would have known had I not looked beyond my darkness. Thank you. Thank you. Tiffany, we're coming back to you. She's like, what?
Okay, 1 second. Hold on, I got another one. Okay. This one is called Shades. Shades of you, colorful and blue, bold and gold, the many shades of hues. I masked your true colors in vibrant purples of royalty, saturated my loyalty until I saw green. I want to love and live pinkly in the need I have for you. I cannot breathe without you and your impossible shades and hues. But you have cut me deeply, left my reds and blacks at your feet. I am covered in darkness. I used to have a colorful glow. Now I am hueless. I have no more shade to give.
Nice. Love it. Love it. Okay, Mocha sister.
Okay, let's see. Where are we going with this? I wrote this poem about a serious subject matter, but I wanted to flip it to a woman rising after being in darkness and being, done all kinds of ways. So it's called She Rise. Through bruised eyelids and broken bones, angel wings temporarily clipped, dipped in bad blood that stained her skin. She rise. Busted lips and uttered for assistance to a ghost that heckled, hell no. She rise like clouds over rivers, thirsting for new sun to open and break new bridges in life. She rise from demonic spirits that told her happy ever after wasn't to be. Stabbed blues tried to resurface, but she foiled their plot and kept striving ahead, infinitely rising to a level self-expressions restored, a glow like no other. Sun shines over her new terrain as she tracks and plots new stories that will unfold. She rise.
Very good. Pam, I've been friends with you on Facebook for quite a while, and I don't know if I've heard, I know I've heard you singing online. Yes, but wow, beautiful.
Thank you.
It. I love it. Okay, trying to see what I want to read next of mine. I'm going to try this one. It is entitled I May Not Be. And I think I wrote this because, well, you'll hear. I may not be the finest thing since sliced bread. I may not be the star of the fantasies you've conjured up in your head. I may not be the ideal woman of your dreams. I may not be the one who makes your toes curl and makes you scream. I may not be all the things you think I should. I may not always look or speak the best that I could. I may not fit the bill or standards set by your friends. But did you ever have an inkling of a thought that I might be a godsend? Don't you want a woman who'll love you completely? A woman who would sacrifice her all for you? Don't you want a woman who'll be faithful? A woman who will always stand by you? I may not be the cutest woman in the crowd, but I am a woman of whom you can be proud. My intelligence is like a river overflowing, and with me there is confidence in knowing I will always be there by your side. I may not be all you said you wanted, but don't discard me without much thought. Don't pass me by because of some image society has taught. Get to know the woman in me and take a stand undaunted. And eventually you'll come to see I'm everything you never knew you wanted.
Karen, the reader, it says, y'all gonna make me break out my notebook. This is so inspiring.
Break it out, Karen. Yes, break it out. Okay, so I'm not going to put either of you on the spot. Who wants to go next? Tiffany's laughing. She's saying you, Mocha.
No, I was saying I was.
Okay, you go. Okay. All right.
This is called Simple. Miss Hill said it best. It could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard. We dance around this attraction like magnets. We feel the pull but resist the connection. Maybe we both have wounds we're too scared to expose, both on guard at the gates of our hearts, and neither of us is willing to yield. I can admit I am stubborn and competitive. I aim to win at all things, and though it would be a win for you to be with me and for me to be with you, it is also a gamble, and I don't like those odds. Our hearts in a fragile state, yet we hang on each other's every word, stanzas and verses intermingling into the wee hours of the morning, yet we remain stagnant, at peace with our solitude and at war with the loneliness. It really could all be so simple, but
sorry, I'm on mute. Okay, Mocha.
Okay, so this is one of my books, Tears of a Woman. I published it back in 2000. Let me go back in 2006. And this is really about womanhood. The whole collection is about womanhood and dealing with things. So in that stream of dealing with these bitter fruits of relationships, sometimes I close my eyes. Denial, like untested fruit, under my bitter tongue, tastes very sweet. When coupled with the pain in my soul, can't blame you, only blame me, 'cause I can only free me. See, I know who you are. I know you are rage underneath all your charming shit. Oh yeah, I know, and I close my eyes. Every time you came up with excuses, I closed my eyes. Can't blame you, only blame me, 'cause I can only free me. See, I played pretended that you really did want to be with me. I closed my eyes, I daydreams of things that could never be. Fantasy tricked me, being hustled by love's wicked games. Yes, I know, I can't blame it on you. 1 + 1 = 2. Tattered lies I told myself would smack me in the face and my heart would be torn. But it would only not be your fault, but mine. Hashtag accountability. I know, because I closed my eyes, denying the truth. Now I have to cry bullshit falling from my lovely brown eyes at night while you smile, tuck it in for the night, ignoring this love's plight. Still, baby, I shine, and I will continue my internal fight, for baby, I will be all right.
Yes. So Karen had said you sang like it was nothing. Wow. So that's both
Thanks,
of y'all.
Karen.
But y'all are like busting out with song. I'm not singing tonight, just to let everybody know. And it's not that I can't, but I won't, because these two, that's okay. Y'all don't want to hear me. we'll let Pam and Tiffany handle all the singing tonight. So I'm going to share a poem now. Now, what did I do? I just I had it and then I just lost it. Let me see. Okay, so this poem is entitled The Definition. You evoke such passionate stimulations in my mind, I can't determine sometimes whether I'm coming or going. See, I'm hoping, but I'm really not knowing if I'm just a fill-in while you wait for the fit-in to come into your life. Do I even have a chance at being your wifey, your girl, your lady, your boo? Got my mind all twisted and I don't know what to do. You got my heart flip-flopping and my mind turning somersaults, and I'm determined to be your yearning desire. Even though you say I'm not your type physically, you're always climbing into my head and making love to me mentally. I've analyzed the schematics of the situation, and one thing is clear: it's change you fear. I may not be the ideal woman of your dreams, but in reality, in the morning, when you wake from your natural periodic suspension of consciousness, I am here. And I don't want anything from you except your undying love and undivided attention. And I guess I must mention, I've come to the decision that a little competition will only make me work harder to bring my dreams to fruition. Can't sweat your lady friends, because in the end, I know you'll choose a woman of substance and character and grace. And can't you tell by the punctuated look on my face that I not only fit the description, but I am the mold? The prime example. Play close attention, you better take heed. I am the very definition of what you need. Yay. All right. So, Tiffany, what you got for us?
This is called Lost and Found. I went searching for you because I had lost you. The longer I kept living, the further away you got from me. I had so many dreams, yet only lived them while sleeping. I went quietly in the darkness of all the sacrifices I made. I went searching for you because you disappeared on me. The smaller you got in my rear view, the more I ached for you. I wandered through hours, muddled through the many hurts. I ached for what we used to have. I pretended for such a long time. I went searching for you because you left me without warning. The ghost of you always lingered, whispered old wants on the wind. I had to dig deep to heal. I knew you were still in there somewhere. All the times I looked in the mirror, I knew you too just wanted to be found.
Nice. Y'all, you know what? Karen the reader is so right. Y'all are just so inspiring. And what I love is that everybody has a different style of poetry, but it is so beautiful. For me, y'all don't know, this is a treat for me to sit here and listen to y'all. The way that you have structured your poems, the way that you've infused music into your poems. I remember years ago, I had recorded a poetry CD and I gave it out to some people to see what they thought. And they were like, oh, yeah, it sounds good. But you know, it'd be even better if you put some music to it. I was like, say less. So I came back home, put music to it, and sang a little bit on that little CD. But just listening to the way that you all have done that and infused it into your work is beautiful. I love it. I love self-expression like this, and you ladies are just so talented, and I'm just so glad you're here. You just don't know. Okay, so Mocha, let me ask you this now. Were you going to share one of your erotic poems with us tonight? I was just wondering. I mean, I'm just saying, you said you wrote some. And I was just wondering if
okay, so I did a nondescript book years ago because I was too afraid to put like your name like a man and a woman like licking and like that honey type of thing. I ain't want to do that. I said I'll let them go on the inside and get the good. You know what I'm saying? So
I got
sometimes you gotta do some nondescript stuff.
So what you have to do is tell us the name of that book.
Liquid Kisses. I'm trying to see. Oh, it's on lulu.com. It's on lulu.com under my I think it's under Mocha Sister page there. I have to check the link and send it to you after the show.
Okay.
But I have a lot of my books published there because Lulu is easy. Upload, print it out, print the books you want, that type of thing. So
what you and Tiffany both can do is after the live, you can come back to the video once it's posted, and you can put the links in on where we can find your poetry books.
Ooh, okay. I'm trying to find something not too crazy. Let's see what we're doing here.
Good stuff. We want to hear it.
Oh, I'm getting in trouble no more. You don't read these poems. Innocent, y'all. Sorry. Innocent, but with the words lethal. Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So let's go back to this. This is this is one of the first poems that I wrote. And they used to put me at the end of the poetry set. Like, they was like, she gonna close the night out. I'm like, why? Why have to close the night out?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Aphrodisiac. Self-explanatory here. Whoa. If you have children, please make sure that they're in another room somewhere. I'm just saying.
Yes. Disclaimer.
This is grown folks business right now.
This is grown folks. So let's give everybody a beat to get their kids out of the.
Get your kids out. Go put them on that Disney Channel or whatever you need to do right now. Okay. Come in with the cat and the dog. Okay.
Okay.
Freaky black thing, you're licking my toes and laying your head in my luscious lap. You are my aphrodisiac. You're dining on my erotic cuisine of sweet nipples and wet thighs of eroticism as you take your time to slowly blow my mind. Freaky black thing, you're rubbing your passion all over my body like it's your second skin. You're taking this lust thing deep within as we go into our erotic zone. Blow that air upon my thighs, because I like to feel the softness from your lips when it's near my foundation, my center. Keep grabbing your hands on my thick, delicious hips as you delve deep beneath my sugary walls tonight. Open my body like a painter would. Use your lips like a paintbrush and dip your wondrous colors all over my body. Make me your love slave as you turn me over and spank my derriere. Oh yeah, baby, I want you to go there. Silkily, I want you to blindfold me and make me crawl on my knees to your erotic knees. I want you to be my aphrodisiac. Taste me, mold me, turn me on until the break of dawn. I need you to be my aphrodisiac and taste me until all my flavors are gone.
That was good. Tiffany's like, woo, wait a minute. That was good.
My mom is not watching this live. I am 50-some years old. Let's just know I'm not a kid anymore. Okay.
A grown woman.
Grown woman business.
Alicia, what did you think about that one?
I love it. The wordplay was off the chain. I was like, I need that poem.
She's going to come back and give us the link so we'll know where to go to find it.
Thank you, Karen, and all that are looking. Thank you. Glad you guys are here to share in the joy of words, because
yes,
it's a distraction from the world. Just enjoy words and expressions.
Yes,
it's freeing and it's healthy.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, Tiffany, you ready?
I am. This is called The Realist. I started my love affair with you when I was just 14 years old. You've always been the realest, the truest, the most honest, the one that never lets me down. You let me vent with you. I can play out the sweetest love story or my craziest dreams. I've never been more vulnerable, more naked than I've been with you. You see into the maze, this enigma that make up the complexities and the intricacies of me. With you, I am my simplest self. Holding you soothes my very being. I can say whatever. We, together, are the words, lacing our history on pages, seeking immortality. You are mighty, and together we scream the loudest. I reach for you, and you comfort me. Together we create magic. Together we create. Shall I call you my muse or the personification of my death? I dread the day when your ink runs dry. You have been replaced on numerous occasions, yet your contributions are irreplaceable. This is why you, my friend, are the realest. And that's about my opinion.
Very good. Very good. Very good. I have a couple of short ones here, so I'm going to read these short ones together. The first one is called Time. Sometimes our dreams are just a minute away, yet every second seems years away. And what we need seems months away, and where we want to be seems miles away. The goals we have seem lifetimes away, and we seem to be not much further than yesterday. But sometimes our dreams are just a minute away. Okay. The next one is called Delve. I've caught myself running from myself, and this must end. I need to face the reality of who I really am. I mustn't look at the surface. I must delve deep within. The truth lies inside me, and to the truth I must give in. The next, wait a minute. Oh, here it is. And this one's called Road. It doesn't pay to walk the way of the wicked. Rather, one should run the race of the wise. For the wise can show you the right road, and the foolish the road of demise. So those were 3 quick short poems that I had. I have one that is much longer. I think I'm going to save that one to the end. Now, I know we've already approached our hour, so let me ask before we continue, is there anybody who has to leave? I hope not, because y'all just getting hot. If y'all have to leave, I understand, but I'm trying to hear some more poetry. I don't know about y'all.
I'm in heaven.
Okay. We're in our element. So to our guests over here for me, you're on the right side. Y'all good? Oh, all right. Well then, Mocha, we coming back to you.
Okay, so okay, let's think about this.
I'm just so excited. I'm like a child.
Let's think about this. Okay, so I toss up. I said I was going to do this piece because it's a starting of an idea of self-esteem, which a lot of ladies, suffer from. And so this piece is a short piece, and it's called Lowercase. Lower than low. You don't even have the sweet nerve to glow because you think you know that inside your soul you are not pretty or beautiful. So you allow others to abuse, use, and treat you so unkindly. But don't mind me. I'm just commenting about things that concern me as a woman on life's journey. Lower than low. You try to stuff yourself into tiny little boxes that don't glow, no shining, just you fighting to fit into what he says you should be. Don't you know you got to set your own soul free? So you continue to let him tell you lies, even though you know deep inside, you, my precious sister, continue to blind your soul, yourself, your essence, your divine essence to be. Open your eyes and turn back the funky hands of time and learn to be. Be liberated, be shiny, be loving, be that great mother, sister, wonderful, elegant speaker. Be that church choir singer. Be who you be. No lowercase. You can go high. Set your crown on your head and leave leave that behind. Don't be lowercase, because you, sister, queen, you matter.
Tiffany. I love that, Mocha. That was great.
Thank you.
This piece is called Puppet.
Mm.
I gave you splinters from holding on so tight. My body stiff and wooden, fluid at your command. I just wanted your love to breathe life into my hollow spaces. Give me freedom. Be my oasis. But you were never the fairy tale. You were the inanimate object personified to life. I don't dance at the pull of the strings you have attached to my heart anymore. I am a real girl now.
Yes. I love that. The imagery, girl. Look at Alicia. She can't even stand it tonight.
I can't, because it makes me jealous that I can't write. I mean, I love reading poetry, but I can't get down like that.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can.
You got it inside of you.
There you go.
Never, really, you do. I didn't start writing until I was 28 years old. My best friend knew I had been writing for 10 years, and she drugged me to a coffee house and put my name on the list without me knowing. But you got something inside you. Get it out there. Trust me.
And it's just like we said before, every poet is not a slam poet, right? I don't write my poems thinking about delivering it in a slam manner. I write it so that people could pick it up off, read it off the paper. So, and you journal every day.
Yeah, I do.
So when you're journaling one day, throw a poem in there. And remember, it doesn't have to rhyme. It can be free verse. It's just your thoughts. So I'm looking forward to the day that I get that inbox and you say, guess what? I wrote a poem today. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. We're gonna try it.
Yes. And I love Karen, the reader's comment here. She says, I'm a real girl now, in reference to Tiffany's poem. But so, Mocha, let me ask you this. So you started writing in your 20s and you went up on stage that first time. What did that feel like for you?
I was completely terrified, to be honest. She didn't take me to a regular coffee house, y'all. Where Love Jones was recorded in Chicago. Mm-hmm. That's the coffee house she took me to. Jay Ivy, Grammy nominated Jay Ivy, and Dr. Tara Betts. She was just Tara Betts at that time. The guy that wrote the poem for Love Jones, Reggie Gibson. Malik Yousef, all these big Chicago folks, and little old me. They put me at the end of the set. Okay, wow. I was terrified, but I got it out, and they said, "Don't compare yourself. You did good." Because I was thinking, "Oh, this is terrible. These people are gonna boo." They're gonna boo me. But you do go into some sets. Back in those days, people compete. I'm not a competitor. I am not a person who's like trying to do no, I ain't doing all that. No, I don't know. I'm not doing that. But it was a blessing because I found it as a safe space. And also, after my teen years, I had a lot of stressful things happen during those years, and writing I ran to because I use it as a form of healing and catharsis, and not picking up no drugs. My drug of choice was poetry. I went to poetry as much as I could back in those days. I was at a poetry set 7 days a week, and my ex-boyfriend was like, "Why are you always at a poetry set?" It is home, it is family, it is expression, and it's an opportunity to share with others. So,
we'll have a good. Keep going. I got a good follow-up for you.
Sometimes, you have to not worry about like how your delivery is going to come off. Somebody in that audience need to hear your poem.
Yes. So you left Chicago. You ended up moving to New York.
Whew.
You were in New York for a long time. And
No, more than a decade. I just came back from New York.
Right. I was going to say, you were celebrating going back to the Midwest.
Yeah.
So when you were in New York, were you on stage anywhere then?
I went to the Nuyorican Poetry Cafe a few times. I was a part of like a poetry group, and we would read down there. That was also a little nerve-wracking because it's like a legendary stage where a lot of people have read. But again, I say that believe in yourself and just go up there and have fun with it. Like, because sometimes we just take ourselves too serious. And look, there are going to be poets. They'll be, oh, I'm going to be better than it. Nah, I ain't there for competition. I compete with Pam. I compete with Mocha. What's the next time? The next time, how better I can do for me, for my audience. But I'm not competing with other people. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Alicia, you inspired, you hyped up, you ready?
Yeah. I'm write something like roses are red, violets are blue.
And that's perfectly fine.
It starts off small and it will blossom. Just know that.
Yeah. Okay. Tiffany, what you got for me?
This piece is called Be His Peace. Be my peace, he says. Yet he knows the hell on earth he is, the damage he will cause, the havoc he will wreak on your paper-thin heart. He knows his patterns, his previous partners, the skeletons in his closet, and the burial ground of broken hearts he's left in his wake. He knows he is a hunter from those he has haunted. He knows his effect and his charm. He knows the reflection in the mirror. He knows the man behind the mask. Be my peace, he says, knowing full well he will leave you in pieces. He knows his special brand of manipulation will leave you bloodied and scarred, trying to piece together the damaged parts of him. A puzzle you will ignorantly try to put together, never realizing until the end all the pieces are not there. There is no peace. There is no peace. You will never be his peace, nor will he ever be yours.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
She killing with the bars, y'all. She killing with the bars. Hello. Yes. Mm-hmm.
There were some lines in there, Tiffany, like, what did she just say?
Can you just do the first two lines? I think it was the first two that I heard that I was like,
be my peace, he says, yet he knows the hell on earth he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honey. Okay, so this one I'm going to do is entitled The Date. Woke up at 6:25, stretched and yawned and stretched. Hopped into the shower, got dressed. Brushed my teeth, combed my hair, ate a bowl of grits, drank some juice. Hopped on the freeway, traffic was light. Pulled up at the job, parked my car in the front row. Elevator was waiting for me on the first floor. Crowded was just me and my idiosyncrasies. Got up to my desk. Boss nowhere to be found. He was on vacation. Left a to-do list. Cool. Sat down and worked a little bit. Thought of you a little bit. Headed down 2 floors to see my girls. Heard some gossip, swapped some perfume samples. Smiled at people I didn't know as I passed them in the corridor. Went downstairs for lunch, got a wink from the guy behind the counter. I smiled and he gave me extra fries. Read a Mary Monroe novel as I feasted on my sandwich, ham and cheese with a little mayo. Went to the restroom to freshen up, went back to my desk, surfed the internet, sent crazy emails to my friends, watched the clock like it was the color purple, ran downstairs at 4:32 to be exact, hopped in my car, drove to the mall, picked up some Vicky's Secret, headed home and cooked. Now, I'm not Emerald, but I did the best I could. Ran a steaming hot bubble bath, let the bubbles percolate, relaxed. Got out, rubbed myself down with my new lotion, brushed my teeth, combed my hair, put on a new sexy black dress and some strappy shoes, and waited, and waited, and waited, and waited, and waited, and waited. That's for all my sisters who've been stood up on a date. And this next poem kind of goes in line with that one. This one is called My Chance to Dance. Many of my friends and foes alike have had their chance to dance. I'm basically a wall bud waiting to bloom, waiting to be swept off of my feet and carried away to a wonder world of endless memories and dreams come true. Each potential suitor passes by and chooses the next woman in line. I sigh. My extended hand falls limp and my eyes drop. My cracked face is there on the floor. Another dreamy song fills the air as I wait for my chance to dance. Okay, so let's see what they're saying in the comments here. So here, I'm sorry, I'm going back. Let me go back a little bit and look at some of these poems. So It Is Home, love that. Think Mocha sister, that was in reference to what you were saying. And Alicia Allen has a question. And we did kind of talk a little bit about this at the beginning, Alicia, about the poets that we admired, but we didn't answer the second half of this question. Wish you could write like. So, Tiffany, is there a poet that you admire to the point, man, I wish I could write like that poet?
That's definitely going to be Rudy Francisco for me. His poetry is just, his metaphors and the stuff he references is amazing.
Okay, what about you, Mocha?
It's a toss-up. So Nikki Giovanni is so simplistic but yet complicated. She has a engaging way of pulling us in, but then hits us with what's coming. And also, I wish I could be, I guess, like write in Spanish and learn how to transpose and do like bilingual poetry. That's just me. I tried it once and I had to take it to a friend and say, can you like transpose this? Because I just love the language. It's a beautiful language when you hear it spoken. And so I would love to get a collection, but I'm not nowhere near that yet. But Pablo Neruda with those dedication poems, they're gorgeous poems, even though it's about the lemon or something simple, but it's all in Spanish, and it's a beautiful way to share poetry in a different language, I think, as well.
I don't know who I would say. I don't know. Of course, Maya. I love Maya. I love Nikki. I love Langston. I don't know. That's a hard one. I'm not going to answer that, Alicia, because I don't know. And then she has watch the clock like it was the color purple. Yes, watch the clock like it was the color purple. So think about it. You being stood up, you're trying to leave work and you're just watching the clock, and it's like watching a movie. It seems like it's never going to end. Just sitting there watching. So, all right. So let's see. I'm trying to see what else I've got here. Tiffany, I'm going to let you go, and then while I look for another one.
This poem is called Super. I don't want to be a superhero anymore. I want to put my hands to my neck, loosen the knot in my cape, and let it fall to the floor. I want to lay down my strength and be human, if only for a day, a week, a lifetime for you. I want to let you be my hero. I want to watch you be super. I will play damsel just to let you rescue me. For once, I will take the back seat. Let me play my position. I'll be the submissive follower because I'm tired of being super all the time. I've been afraid for so long to take off this superpower. I no longer want to fly. I just want to walk hand in hand with you, the gravitational force of your grace keeping me grounded. I realize you prefer my secret identity, the girl with the silent struggle, the one with the prayer on her lips. I can let you slip into the phone booth, allow you to put that S on your chest. You saved me when my life was always about saving everybody else. As the world put more and more weight on my shoulders, putting everyone else above myself, my kryptonite. You flew in with the strength of the sun, lighting my path. You are superpowered. And your love makes me stop in reverence. You carry the heavy load. With you, I don't have to be super. I can just be.
Yes. And oh, that was good. Just makes you think. My mind's going somewhere. Let me focus. Let me focus. Mocha.
So, okay. So what would be love if it was in a pocket, in the back of the jean pocket, and you were being carried? What would that look like? This poem is called Carrie. Carrie, as if in autumn, I am a leaf that has blown across your dusty surface. As if in autumn, I am the wind blowing across your skin, kissing your nose, missing the laughter as you chuckle over something funny. As if in autumn, I am melting in your mouth like hot cocoa or coffee steaming in your favorite mug. As if in winter, I'm the munching of your beat, of your feet, and the waltzing as you misstep, but still look good doing it. As if winter, you miss me more than a tear that has cried a million times, strung inside a soul that constantly dies and is born yet again, or a hug that will never be prolonged, or a lean against a soul that falls into your embrace softly down. Carry me deep in your soul, deep in your pocket, like love that existed. Light like the wind that crosses your face on cold and summery days. Carry me like lost love in your pocket, cascaded far away, blown away across clean and dirty surfaces. Carry me, knit me inside your heart. Let me leave an imprint and melt so effortlessly, mixing my spirit with yours. Carry me with you always. Resting me in the lap of your luxury, like stars that shimmer in the darkness, like love that wipes tears and fears away with just a word. Carry me.
Sorry about that. My mic, my mouse didn't want to work right. Very good. I enjoyed that. I did. I did. So, Tiffany, I'm going to read a poem. And while I'm doing that, I want you to pull up some of your haiku. I know you got it. Okay. So, I'm going to read a poem entitled Impasse. And this is not based on a true story, by the way. It's just a poem. Impasse. Look at you standing there all tall and honey brown, dripping fine like sweat. The things a girl like me wouldn't do to get next to you, but I can't, I digress. You know it would lead to all kinds of mess, being that you met my girlfriend first and all. See, you ain't that special, and I ain't that small of a person to go behind her back like that, even though you make me want to react like that. You are everything I ever wanted in a man, you see. But my girlfriend is so much more important to me. Through thick and thin and downs and ups and ups and downs, can't diss her just because you've come around. So we're just going to have to chill for a minute. Because if we pursue this thing, I know I'll resent it. I've been in bad situations, but man, this is the worst. Why'd you have to meet my girlfriend first? It's like our conversation is crazy connected. You listen intently, and I'm always respected. I must confess, it's getting harder to suppress these urges I possess. These feelings must be addressed before you and I press on and end up doing what we both know is wrong. How long can this battle go on before I burst? This is the worst. I wish you hadn't met her first. I wish you hadn't met my girlfriend first, because you're really fine and you got it going on. You move me, groove me, behoove me. I want to step to you when I know that it is wrong. You're really stressing me. Oh, you're really vexing me. I think you put a hex on me. Nope, not having sex with me. This whole thing is perplexing me. You're trying to get next to me. My feelings are complex, you see. I wish you hadn't met my girlfriend first, but you did. Mm.
And it's really not based on real life, Kay.
No, it's not.
Where my pearls at? Where my pearls? Woo, Lord.
Not a true story. Not, I don't think.
But it's
no.
a true thing that happens out in these streets now. Come on.
It does happen out in these streets. It sure does. Okay, Tiffany. You ready?
I am.
Okay.
Let's see here. Okay, this one. They're not titled since they're little short haikus. Heavy is her crown, yet she will not remove it. She bows to no one. Do you want me to read a couple or just one? Or okay. Let's see. Lay your weapon down. Meditate on what's ahead. Even soldiers sleep. The love of yourself is above all the greatest love you can dare to find. Pirouette motions, fluid draped in brown skin and pink ballet flats, dance. So you cried today. Nothing like a little cleanse to flourish again. Superhuman strength. Use it to get you through now. You are a superhero. That's just a few.
Thank you. Thank you. Those were good. Let me ask both of you ladies, have you thought about, and if you've already done this, please let us know, but have you thought about putting your audiobooks out there of your poetry?
Yes.
Yep. I was gonna do audio. I was trying to be like a voiceover person. and I actually had got some sort of gigs, but then I didn't follow through on it because I was like, wait a minute, I gotta produce the whole thing. Like, I don't mind doing the reading. You asked me to produce it. The only project I will produce is my own, because it's a lot in production. I wouldn't want to produce someone else's without like getting my feet kind of wet doing my own stuff. It's probably not this year, but it'll be coming.
Good. I thought about that too. I said, I'd much rather speak it, because it's funny. You know how it is when you write your own poems, you know where the inflections should be.
Right.
But at the same time, you're supposed to leave that up to the reader to interpret, is how they receive your work. When they open up your book and read it, it's supposed to be how they feel about the words you put on the page, and not necessarily about how you felt about it or the way you would speak it. So I try to also keep that in mind as well, because all of us could pick up the same book, turn to the same page, read the same poem, and all of us would have a different interpretation of how it should be read. Not only how it should be read, but the meaning behind it. And that's what I love about poetry. There is no black and white. There is no right or wrong. It's what you bring to it as the reader that helps you to experience it in the way that you do.
Right.
So we'll do a few more. Like I said, I have one poem that I wanted to read, but it's kind of long. So let me go ahead and read this one and get it out the way, because I do want to hear a couple of more from you all. So let me do a time check again. Anybody raise their hand if they have to run? I won't keep y'all all night, but I'm just enjoying it. So what we'll do is I'll do this long poem, like I said, move that out of the way, and then we'll get 2 poems from each of you ladies, and then we'll wrap up for the night. Sound like a game plan? Okay. This one is, what's funny is I don't know when I wrote this. I can't remember, but I found a revised copy. So evidently I wasn't happy with what I wrote in this one, and I went back and tried to do a revision, but I'm going to read it anyway. Okay? And I like hearing the reader. She said there is no supposed to be in poetry though. And Karen, can you elaborate on that comment? So this poem is entitled Fresh Air. Being with you is like a breath of fresh air. My feelings for you are intense. I absorb each moment with you as if I were a sponge. I sip on your spirit until I'm intoxicated. Like a parasite, I feed off of you, but I don't love you. Your face appears when I lie to rest. Sometimes I catch your name falling from my lips when I am alone. I feel your arms comforting me and your sweet, warm breath on the back of my neck, but I don't love you. Your touch elates me. Like a river, my feelings for you are deep. Like a thicket, you're dark and mysterious. When I am with you, I glow like a firefly in July. With you, I blossom like a rose, but I don't love you. Just because I like to hear your laugh, just because I like to see your smile, even though your hugs and kisses are what I yearn for late at night, it doesn't mean I love you. I don't love you. I may wipe away your tears. I may tickle your toes. I may listen to your corny jokes. I may call you 50 times in one day to hear your voice. A spark of jealousy might be felt when you hold another's hand. It doesn't mean I love you. I don't love you. So I can lie down with you and call your name as waves of ecstasy fill my soul. So I'll lie wrapped up in your arms as your heartbeat lulls me to sleep. Can all of this not mean that you're my one and only right now and not for forever? I'm sorry, but I don't love you. At least, not yet. I feel there is another being lurking in the shadows, a nameless, faceless soul who claims your heart, and the journey you've begun with her has no end in sight. Where does that leave me? You never intended to feel for me. You simply wanted to taste my nectar. So you buried your face in my womanness, and when you found it to be sweet, you simply could not walk away. While you thought you would be merely feeling a moment of physical desire, your defenses weakened and our spirits clicked. You want to banish thoughts of me from your mind. You want to seal the crack in your heart into which I've already started to climb. You want to close your eyes and have me disappear, yet you can't let me go, for to you, I am a breath of fresh air. My mental acrobatics entertain you. My intellect amazes you. My kindness overwhelms you. My lips are so sweet you yearn for the taste and touch of them. You like to sex me. You want to love me, but you don't love me. Your feelings for me are intense. You cherish each moment with me as if it were the last. You swim in my spirit until you've almost drowned. Like a magnet, you're drawn to me, but you don't love me. Thoughts of me creep into your mind. I'm like a spirit ever present, just beyond the touch of your fingertips. When you are alone, you feel my arms comforting you and my sweet, warm breath on the back of your neck, but you don't love me. My touch elates you. Like a river, your feelings for me are ever flowing. Like midnight, I am dark and mysterious. When you are with me, you shine like the stars in the sky. With me, you stand tall like a tree, but you don't love me. Just because you like to see my face, because you like to feel my mouth. Even though my breasts and thighs are what you yearn for late at night, it doesn't mean you love me. You don't love me. Yet, I can't help but think, are we meant to be? Why else would fate have introduced us? Neither of us chose to walk away. Even though you had another, you had to have me too. And even though my heart has been broken, shattered, and destroyed, I took a chance with you. Now here we are like flies caught in a web of feelings. The question is, do we fight together to live, or do we each perish alone? Will we unite to survive, or will we take the chance of falling in love, or should we just say goodbye? And that's it. Okay, so ladies, Tiffany, we'll let you read too, and Mocha, we'll let you close us out. We'll let you do your two. Alicia will come back to you for final comments, and then we'll close out. So let's do that.
This is called Whispers of Africa. In you I find whispers of Africa, traces of the wind blowing in your words, intensified by the glow of your rich skin tone. Tell me again of your ancient past, and I will sing you the story of you and I in past lives forever intertwined. In you I find whispers of Africa, find the beauty of its soil enriched in your intense golden brown eyes. Let me be your Mother Earth. Grow old with me, and in time we will become one. In you I find whispers of Africa, rare beauty, peaceful and warm. You are my home. And this one is called Out of Print. We are no longer heard. They've taken us out of print, reduced us to social networks just to spread our word. I speak, but no one listens. I write, but no one reads. So where do they go? All these words upon words that spill onto blank pages. I am rendered silent, speechless, because no one is responding. No one is buying what I am selling. No one is picking up the knowledge I am dropping. So I had to stop, backtrack, and retry another tactic. I am back, and I will be heard. Even if my words fall on deaf ears, I will teach them how to read my lips.
Tiffany, it's something about the way you turn your phrases. I don't know how to explain it, but I like the way your mind works.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I really love that what Tiffany read, that especially that first piece is such beautiful imagery and thoughts of the country. And thank you for sharing that. So this piece is called Scratch Surface. My process with doing this particular piece was dramatic from the first stanza. Sorry about that, but it's like when you think about relationships, you're scratching the surface. When you meet that person, you're just scratching it. You don't really know deeply who that person is. So it's a short piece, but hey, there can be no us if we speak illness upon this newly created foundation. If we carry dead bodies from previous relationships on our weary bodies, backs. Sure, we can play the game, talk and Rubik's Cube lies around each other, act as if we are holding on to life branches coming into this brand new. But they will soon die if we stillborn this new love. Please come to me whole as you can, and I promise I will be as real as possible. That I will try to strip away as much as possible of my previous pains that stained my soul. Let us not shout horrible, hurtful words to each other unless we can tuck each other in at night and kiss wounds away. Let us try to build our home joyfully, fully, fearfully, carefully. Our language needs to be peaceful and loving as we erect a wonderful structure that will make our relationship strong to last the test of time. Let us murmur sweetness, inserting patience on low days and carrying each other as we walk carefully through to the other side until we get this right. This last piece is dedication poem to youth. I have a long history working with young people, probably more than 10 years between Chicago and New York. And the process was to really create a poem that is positive. So this is called Visionaries. Rewinding a million blinks of light through visions unseen, you're meditating on life receipts beholden to your spirits. You push forward carrying untapped potentials and gifts given. Bright, bold, bountiful, you spirits, gift laden with possibilities glittering in the open sky. Your mind's amazingly powerful, like an unshuttered third eye, finding imagery in the image of what you script. Visionaries, it unfolds at your request and eyeing your future visions as you push forth blazing trails of life. Shiny knowledge glows and knows because inside an inner strength that works off of raw talent, it is brighter than blood diamonds lining your world's platform. You can touch the sky and your life with unbridled vitality as you push yourself forward, carrying untapped orbs of education and bubbling talents bursting at the seams of your temples, making your way through seen and unseen challenges, storms and daggers that try to stop your path. You will continue laughing, loving, living as we all celebrate at this table of joy. Your innovations, your creativity, unique fierce stars, never afraid of shining, intellectually climbing your way through the stairs that bring you forth to new visions. Ignited trails for others to excel and empower and see your handiwork. Your awesome future awaits with bated breath. And the road might curve, but you won't default if there are challenges that come. Your oracles will find the way to continue to see the path, see it through, to glance to a journey that will emblazon the truth of your lives, shining for all to see. Visionaries.
Oh boy. Y'all, this has been great. Alicia?
I don't even have any words. It's just been amazing. I have to say, all you ladies, the way you title your poems, the way, the form, the word usage, it's amazing. I'm just like so overwhelmed. I look forward to just reading more. Kate will occasionally share her stuff on social media. So now I'm gonna be following what you two ladies also put out. And who knows, I may do a video or two about it.
Thank you for having us. This was my pleasure. Really fun to listen to readers and fellow poets and artists because our words matter and there's enough of the poetry pie that everybody can take a little slice of.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's been a great night.
Mm-hmm. And when I was thinking about, different poets and, because Pam, what we do, and Tiffany and Alicia and I know, and for the people in the chat, mostly Black Readers Con, most of the audience for Black Readers Con is on Instagram. And most of what we have done or what the team has done in the last say year or so has been on Instagram. And so when the idea was, you know what, we need to do lives on Facebook as well. I'm like, well, yeah, we certainly should, but who do I know that writes poetry on Facebook? And I was thinking, oh, Tiffany, and I, because I've interacted with Tiffany a lot, and I said, Tiffany does. And then I was sitting there thinking, I said, there's somebody else. And I was like, oh, I know who. and I was like, I have to invite Mocha sister, Pam. I have to invite her to be a part of this. Because we connected, I know for sure, books and things like that.
Yep.
More so books than poetry. But let me tell you, I am just I can't even describe the feeling right now. You ladies have just really, really inspired me. Just, you really have. Mocha, look at this one. Every child needs to hear that last poem.
Thank you. At the time that I wrote this poem, I was working with foster youth, some of them homeless, and we had lost a child that got murdered when I first took the job, and I was bawling. And they had like a memory ceremony, and it was like, can you write a poem? And I didn't want to use a name, and I didn't want to talk about the event. I wanted to focus on our young people that can do stuff, that still living and still have goals. And we had so many great, amazing young people in our program. And that poem, I wrote it in one draft, and then I went back and kind of massaged it or whatever. And I was like, well, you know what? I ain't going to do too much to this poem, because I felt like what I put in there needed to be said. And it's such an uplifting poem that if I was that age, I would want, when I was a teen, they didn't have they had no Black poets that I know of, and they had nobody reading and pouring into me. And I feel like a part of our journey as artists and writers is also to pour back into community spaces with young people, to let them know they're valued and their self-worth, which I don't think we hear too many poems about, actually.
Yeah. I just had a thought that sometime maybe in the summer that we can do another live show, but do it on Instagram.
Okay.
I really want more people to hear the two of you and support the two of you.
Thank you.
So I think we should do that. Sometime this summer we'll get together and we'll coordinate and
okay,
get it together, because both of you are so very talented, and I want people to know who you are and support. So let's start there. So Tiffany, can you please tell everyone where they can find your books? You have, how many did you say? 3?
I have 3, Whispers of Africa, A Year in Haiku, and Sunflowers in Winter, and they're all on Amazon.
Okay. And where can people find you on social media?
I am on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook, all at TB the Writer.
Okay. And Mocha sister?
I believe this baby is still up on Amazon. Musings of a Mocha Sister, A Different Flavor of Mocha, which was supposed to be the only book that I published, by the way, because I said I'm not going to write no more. It's 200 pages, y'all. It's crazy. But it's on Amazon. And then my other smaller books are on, I got a couple books on Barnes & Noble and also lulu.com. If you Google Pam Osby, you'll find a lot of those books and projects there. I have a lot of crazy other projects. I have a line of journals that I created last year. I dropped a few of them on Amazon, and
under what name?
Pam Osby. Okay. Pamela. No, hold on. It's probably under Pamela Osby.
Okay.
Name.
And that's That's OSBEY.
Yep,
Amen.
OSBEY.
Mhm.
And my poetry podcast is called Mocha's Jams, which is on Anchor FM, but it's on multiple platforms. So you can get it on Spotify, and you can get it on Apple. So it's out there, and you're welcome to tune in to me talking about my love of poetry and reading poems, and sometimes reading poetry from other venues and cultures. I do try to delve into. Well, I didn't do the Germany poet. I was going to do it, but then other stuff happened in the world. So I did do a this month just all poetry. I did drop a lot of poetry on there. I try to drop 25 poems on there this month, which is crazy. A day a poem.
What's National Poetry Month? So
National Poetry Month. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. But I'm looking forward to anybody wants to connect. I mean, feel free to hit me up on IG. I'm on there as Poetically Pam Osby. As the Mocha Sister page, I had to change it. I kept getting hacked. I mean, what's wrong with IG?
I know.
So I just changed it to Poetically Pam Osby. Ain't nobody messed with it yet. So just people crazy out here.
Okay. Thank you so very much. If anyone in the chat has any questions, please drop them now. And I will get to those. And so I'm just okay. So thank you all so much for watching us this evening. This has been fantastic. This truly was a poetry party. I enjoyed every bit of it. I enjoyed listening to you ladies read your poems. You all were fantastic. Thank you so very much. So if you're not already, please follow Black Readers Con across all social media so that you won't miss great events like this one. And keep in mind that Black Readers Con is having a conference this fall in October, the 28th through the 30th, both virtually and in New York. You have to be following Black Readers Con so that you can keep up and find out what's going on with the conference. So you can come back here to Facebook, you can go to YouTube, IG, again, across social media to learn more about the conference. And let me tell you something that's going to be hard for me. So after we do our lives, I try to make a point to find little clips to share on my IG page or Twitter or something like that to draw people in so that they'll watch the video. If they missed the live, they could watch the repeat. And what's going to be hard for me is trying to find just one clip, because how? Because everything was so good. I don't even know. I don't even know where to start. I might just say, look, watch this whole video. Because every minute of it, I've truly, truly enjoyed. Summer and I are so grateful for everyone who tuned in today. We're both grateful for you ladies for coming by. And again, we'll see about doing something on IG later on this summer. Okay. Any closing? Oh, Karen the Reader says, well, I'm sorry, Grace Collins Rich says, thank you ladies for sharing your work with us. Yes, thank you so very much. And Karen the Reader says, we would love to see an encore on IG. So yeah, we got to figure out when we'll all be available so that we can get this done. But for all of you who tuned in today, thank you so very much. We're going to say good night to you now. And remember, follow Black Readers Con, everybody. Good night.